Ray Comfort apologizes for banana illustration. All right, so starting from the beginning, the first argument is that, well, you can't read what I wrote. Not taking into account the cocaine, that atheists who argued, or made fun of him, were saying that, or posted the video without him saying that the cocaine.
The whole cocaine,
the comparison.
Well, my dad, this is the same argument he used against me when he was trying to attack me for believing in Darwinian evolution and natural selection, all that. Mm-hmm. We didn't miss the point. He's saying we didn't put that in there. You don't even have to get that for that to be in there. What the point they're making is, here's a Coke can. It's got a tab. Yeah. It's got a design. It has it's man-made. It requires intelligent design. It does all these functions specific. Now here's a banana, and he went on for 20 minutes
doing the same thing comparison and saying the creator was God.
Where if you didn't know that he was talking about God, it sounded like he was just discussing the merits of a penis in your hand or something, but
yeah, we can get into that.
We got the point. I mean, the point was he was trying to say that
the way the banana is designed required a designer, that designer was God. That's literally what he said.
Yeah, there had to have been a designer because of all these features on it that are perfect for a human being. And how could that possibly be there if there's no God? And as we know, and as he later on found out, the reason why it was there like that is because man did design it kind of like the Coke can.
Yeah.
We fit it for our needs because originally, the plantains are smaller and you get all that. But
it tastes good, blah, blah, blah. So, all right, so that's the video, the original video. Getting into the...
this is response.
Response.
Is it trying to...
After that, he goes into saying, well, I didn't know it was cultivated. Right there, your credibility is gone. Yep. Because you did not research a topic that you're making an argument for on a video,
and it's not even
that you're showing to people.
Yeah, especially because it's not like this just came on the top of his head.
Yeah.
I'd understand that if it was just like the top of his head. He thought, well, yeah, like a banana is a perfect example.
Yeah. It's not like he was on set and he saw a banana and let's talk about this.
And it wasn't like it was a short thing. This is like he went on he made a book about it.
Yeah.
That he distributed. This is what a lot of people touted. This is what every religious person I know, this is the argument they use. Mm-hmm. Obviously, this is something that he should have put a little time into. You think he would have known a little bit about. I knew just basic knowledge that bananas aren't.
Yeah.
They're man-manipulated, man-made.
Well, the thing is I didn't know they were cultivated.
Well, just as I was,
but
I
wouldn't argue.
Major.
I wouldn't adamantly argue.
Yeah.
For it. Well, assuming that.
Especially when you're in a hot debate like with evolution versus religion, you're supposed to be one of the major contributors to the religious side.
Yeah.
You're releasing something that millions of people are going to see.
Yep.
And you don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, that's the problem with a lot of this stuff is they spout stuff off, a lot of the religious side, they seem so sure of it, and then you look it up, and it's all bullshit.
Yeah.
So the credibility for me is gone immediately.
Bones don't last.
For me, he could say something that's correct. Yeah. He could say something that's correct, but I wouldn't believe him.
Yeah.
If it's something I didn't know or not, because his credibility's gone.
Yeah. Unless he explicitly shows the evidence beforehand, before talking about it.
And the thing is, I think he realized
your credibility's gone.
He realized this kind of hurts credibility, so now he tries to justify. He tries to fit what he said. He admits it's wrong, but he does it at the same time because he tries to justify.
Because if he's wrong, then his argument's gone, and that's a point for the atheist, and he can't have it.
And he specifically, in the video, compared it to the dogs.
The dogs were raised so they would fit in my car.
Yeah.
Fit in my car. God gave us the knowledge to breed dogs so they would fit in our car. First of all, that's stupid. We didn't breed them to fit in our car.
Well, I mean,
we bred them to fit in our laps because
it doesn't prove anything about God. That's the problem. That's any argument you get in against someone religious. This is basically when they're backed into a corner and they're trapped. Mm-hmm. This is their trump card, and that's why discussions like this are so irritating. Because one side, more than not, even though they have their own biases, the non-religious side they argue for or against, and they can be swayed by fact.
Yeah.
Because we're stuck on the secular rules on the world and how it works.
Yeah.
When you have this otherworldly sphere, no matter what happens, if you're backed into a corner, what ultimately gets pulled out of your ass, and what he did is, oh, well, yeah, it was man-made, but God gave us that ability to make that.
It's a never-ending stream.
How is that an argument? Because the only people that are going to believe that argument are people that believe in God and don't need to be swayed to begin with.
Yeah.
And for someone that doesn't necessarily believe, either they don't believe in God at all, or they just don't know.
Yeah.
How is that swaying anything? You're saying God gave them the knowledge? How do you know? It's like Debate 101. I remember in some of my ethics classes where we debated stuff, controversial topics, abortion, all that other stuff. The basic rule, don't use part of your argument as religion.
Yeah.
Especially things with the faith, because people don't believe in that. It's not going to affect them whatsoever.
Yeah.
And for people that do believe that, they don't need to be convinced anyway. They're already on your side. He should just say, I was wrong. That doesn't.
But don't not come up with something that.
That's my point. The banana.
Makes you right again.
A banana, even if that was natural made how it was, it doesn't prove or disprove a God.
Yeah.
The fact that the banana, his argument was refuted, doesn't mean that God doesn't necessarily exist.
He's backtracking.
Just admit that was a bad example and move on. I've gotten in arguments before where I've made examples and realized they're bad, and I say, okay, never mind.
Yeah.
It doesn't prove anything. Even if that banana was natural made and it happened to be like that, like we talked about before,
Yeah.
That's one out of millions of things that we eat.
Yeah.
And there's lots of other things that
Aren't
we
perfect.
make that are not ready-made like that.
Yeah.
We're talking about wheat, like bread. Bread is created from wheat.
Yeah. But God gave us the knowledge to make that bread. Did you know that?
That's the problem.
You know that?
That's regardless. Bread is the most commonly eaten thing around the world.
Yeah.
It's not, loaves don't just appear out of the sky because
You
of
have to farm wheat.
You have to,
And then
it's a plant.
Go through a process of grinding
you then
the
have to
wheat with
grind
stones, mashing it into with other ingredients that you also have to grow,
You have to bake.
and then bake it in a fire. That process is so long that why is that helpful to man? Why is that? If you take bread as an argument compared to banana, they're both foods we eat. We eat bread more, right?
Yeah.
How is that? That's not. You take
and
that. You can't make that a proof of God.
Yeah, that's for me. The bread doesn't refute it because I think it's a stupid argument to make anyway.
Yeah.
But if he wants to go down that road with the banana proving it, there's plenty of other examples of more commonly, eaten food that it's not that easy to make.
No.
That doesn't disprove God.
The pomegranate.
Just like a banana does not. Yeah, just like the banana.
Look at the pomegranate.
Look at the coconut. The amount of force taken to open a coconut. People live on islands where their main source, there's fucking coconuts everywhere, and they can't. It's a pain in the ass to get to.
But God gave you knowledge to make a tool in order to get those husks
that's the
off
thing.
easier.
Even if that's true, that there's no way to prove that. You're just saying.
You're making it up.
You're just saying something.
You're coming up with an argument
well,
that in a metaphysical world would work.
Well, I'm not even saying that he's making it up. In his mind, I'm sure he believes it.
Of course, yeah.
But the problem is, you can't. If you're trying to prove a point through fact, like this debate, he's trying to show, I'm going to go head-to-head intellectually with Richard Dawkins. You have to back it up with actual logical arguments that prove or disprove it.
With evidence that...
But just saying, God gave us the ability
of what
to
you're
do
talking
that.
About, yeah.
I think it's funny, especially he talks about, breeding dogs.
Yeah.
When breeding dogs is, there's natural selection, which is what the earth, which is what the planet does on its own.
Mm-hmm.
With animals and the way they interact with each other. And there's artificial selection.
Yeah.
Which is what we've done to domesticating cattle. With dogs, showing the variation of species that have come from that we've done ourselves. Yeah. It's that's an example for me of how evolution can work. It's we can manipulate it ourselves. Mm-hmm. I just think it's funny that he's bringing up forms of selection, even though according to him he doesn't believe in selection because it's God doing it. The main tenets of evolution that they're against is they believe that the species that were brought into this earth, they were brought down and formed by God in that exact image, and they cannot be changed. Mm-hmm. There is no evolution. But we can, a farmer can do it in the span of 40 years, create species of cattle producing extreme amounts of variation on their own. Imagine what nature can do